Hi guys, welcome back to Famous Artists Throughout History unit in middle school art class. This is our fourth week in this lesson, so you guys should be able to recognize these by now, right? So, anyone have the name and artist and time period for this piece? Tara?
Da Vinci.
Yeah?
The Mona Lisa.
That's right. And what time period?
The Italian Renaissance.
Good job, awesome. Anybody else for this piece? Jenna?
Pablo Picasso,
Yeah?
self-portrait, 1972.
Good job, awesome. Alright, so I'll give these guys back to you. So you guys can look at them up close. Ask a few more questions. What similarities do you guys notice between these two pieces? Jenna?
They're both people.
They are both people. That's good. Anybody else? Oh, how about differences? Anybody? Oh, sorry, Jenna. Do you have any similarity?
I was going to say they're both relatively serious.
That's true.
As far as facial expressions.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So both pretty serious portraits. Matt?
They're both, mostly straight on looks at their face.
That's
it's not, them in a scene, really. It's really just the portrait.
That's a good observation. Okay. Any differences between the two? I see a bunch, so.
And the colors that are used.
The colors are extremely different, that's right. Anything else? Yeah, Matt?
The Picasso doesn't seem to really have much like a backdrop to it, whereas the Mona Lisa has this full scene behind her.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it seems like the self-portrait, all you really want to see in that picture is the subject, whereas the Mona Lisa, she's part of a greater image. That's a good observation too. Yeah, Jenna?
The rhythm in it, I mean, this one, you see a lot of the movement and texture as far as the clothes, and this doesn't look like he's really wearing clothes.
That's true. That's true. Remember last week we talked about the style, different kinds of styles. So what are the two different styles in these pictures? Yep, Tara?
The Picasso is abstract.
Yep, that's right. And what about the Mona Lisa? Matt?
It's realism.
Yep.
Naturalism.
That's right. Let's see. Does anyone have any opinions about what maybe the artist's style might say about them, like is in their time period or the way they feel about art, or why do you think they chose their two different styles? Yep, Matt.
Well, obviously with the Da Vinci doing a more naturalist style, it's all formal. It's about portraying things accurately. First and foremost, painting someone with proper proportions to real life is sort of paramount. But for Picasso, it's more about the expression.
Yeah.
It's more about things aren't painted realistically. It's more to obviously you get with this one you get a sense that this is obviously a person. That's clear, but it's but the color scheme and all the form, all the lines, everything about it, it's not the exact replica of reality.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good observation. What feeling do you think Picasso was trying to portray in his piece versus what do you think Da Vinci was trying to portray in his piece about the subject matter? I know in Picasso's obviously himself, and in Da Vinci, it's been debated, but it's probably not himself in that picture. But, so what do you think that the emotion they're trying to portray in each one? Yeah, Matt?
Well, the Picasso's almost looks sickly. Just the colors, his face looks, and the beard is kind of scraggly and doesn't look very well. Whereas in the Mona Lisa, there's a lot of warm tones to it. And it even blends well with the background. So, even though it's not necessarily this really bright, happy painting, it certainly isn't this kind of sickly feel that you get out of Picasso.
Right. Good. So today we're doing a project actually about that. We're not only going to use our own personal style, but we're also going to say something about the subject. In this case, it's going to be somebody else. Like I know last week we did portraits of ourselves, but this time we'll be doing portraits of others. So last time we talked about the differences between naturalist art, such as the Mona Lisa, and abstract art, such as Picasso's self-portrait 1972. We discussed how naturalist art shows a real subject as it appears in nature, while abstract art strives to capture the emotional aspect of a subject, not necessarily how it might appear in real life. We also practiced creating self-portraits, one in Da Vinci's naturalist style, or Picasso's abstract style, another in your own personal style. And you guys all did a great job with that project. Today, we're going to take our portrait work a step further by creating a portrait of someone else in your own personal style. However, the catch in this assignment is that not only are you creating art in your own style, but you are taking a hint from both naturalist and abstract artists by adding a bit about the subject into your piece. In other words, try to portray both yourself in your style, but your idea of the subject in your execution. An example of this would be Mona Lisa's sly smile, or the colors that Picasso chose to portray his personality. We'll be using oil pastels on canvas board for this project. They're all out for you guys to use, and I'll be available walking around the classroom for any assistance you might need with technique or any ideas you might want to have on the subject. So, are there any questions, or no? You guys ready to get started? Okay.
Yes.
Great. All right. So let's have Jenna can draw Matt, Matt can draw Tara, and Tara can draw Jenna. That work out?
Perfect.
Great. Okay, you guys can get started. Oh, don't worry about messing it up. You can always go back and change it later. So while you're working, try to think about the style you used last week, if you want to change it, or if you want to use the same style again, as long as it's your own. If your style happens to be abstract, that's great. If it happens to be naturalist, that's great too. So long as you can just explain your reasonings behind choosing it, and what about your subject matter that you want to portray, or what you're trying to portray. Do you need help, Pat?
No, well,
I
I
have
don't really know
pencils
where
if
to
you want.
begin. No, I think I'm okay. I think
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out if I want to integrate her outfit.
That's
Because
a good
it's
idea.
very colorful.
Like her
today.
personality.
Like her personality,
There you
that's
go.
right.
That's a good
That's a good
observation.
Okay.
Good idea.
Good start.
Now we don't know where it's got.
I know where to go. Okay, so you have her outline so far, her face. What kind of personality traits might you want to portray in your picture of her?
It's pretty close.
And she's smart.
She's smart. Okay, how might you portray intelligence?
Glasses.
There you go.
Yeah.
Glasses. Remember, you don't have to use every detail of her face. You could use little pieces here and there to suggest, like, Picasso doesn't draw, obviously, realistic proportions or even include everything in the face. So if you wanted to just draw glasses, I mean, that might be a style.
Good idea. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. I'm trying to figure out how to kind of integrate the colors into the face, because I don't want it to be, because I want it to be colorful, but not like odd. I don't think I want to do like what Picasso was doing, where it looks like this odd green color or
Right.
something like that necessarily.
Right. Well, did you want to use like a regular skin color, or did you want to try to use her
I guess
colors?
I should. Well, I guess I should start with a more typical skin color and then kind of try to build from there.
Sure.
Because I don't want to be totally abstract. I
Okay.
guess.
That's good. That's a good
Just kind
observation
of
to
have
know.
like a hint.
Wow, Jenna, I love that so far. It's awesome.
Pretty good. I look like
It's very good.
beautiful.
I look like a...
I was gonna say I look like what the heck is this show? Anyway. Oh, I look like I'm in Adventure Time.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's really like.
I never saw it.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
So it came right from your soul. I see.
No, I mean, I don't even know what it's about.
Adventure. It's kind of hard to describe.
This seems like you're all picking pretty much closer to naturalism and abstract with a little bit of quirkiness in there. I like that. That's a good idea, kind of mixing it. A lot of artwork does that and mixes a bunch of different styles together to get a different style. We'll be talking more about that next week.
No, I'm just not a very good drawer.
Everyone's a good drawer.
I think it's lovely.
Thank you. I find that when I'm moving in a certain direction with my hand, it's a lot easier than in the reverse.
Mhm.
For some reason, like I'm a lot less. So if I'm trying to create some kind of symmetry, I can't replicate the same motion going in the opposite direction.
That's interesting. Yeah, pastels are kind of fun to use like that because you get different textures, and texture is a lot about what these pictures were, especially Picasso's work. He has a lot of texture in his work,
Right.
especially in his beard and the heavy lines and things like that. So pastel's probably a good place to start. So now that you guys have gotten a little farther into your pieces, how might you describe your own personal style? You can keep working while you think about this and answer it whenever you feel like it. But is there any artist you feel closer to, or not at all close to, or?
Well, I think I'm trying to get, I want to kind of have some kind of backdrop here, like Da Vinci does, and I definitely want to integrate some of those same colors into the face, but they'll be sort of more odd colors, so I feel like that aspect of it's more like Picasso.
Okay.
In that because with the Mona Lisa, the colors are very natural, and they happen to also be similar colors in the backdrop, but for the Picasso, it doesn't have a backdrop, he's got those sort of odd colors. So I'm kind of interested in both those things.
That's great. I love this so far.
I think mine's more Da Vinci's colors, because they're more real colors. She doesn't look sickly, I hope. But with more of an abstract feel to it.
That's great. I love how you're using the pastels
She's
too.
not going to have eyes.
That's an interesting choice.
That's very nice.
You don't have eyes either
Except that I
yet.
don't have vision.
No.
She loves
That's
the
well, that's
smarts.
why you have glasses, right?
I'm just smarts. Yeah. I think that a lot of my line movements and such are more like Picasso's, because it's less realistic. The proportions are not proportionate whatsoever. But so far I'm using more natural colors, but I
Cool.
think I'm changing that.
That's great. It's like a mix.
How you doing?
Okay.
Is there a good brown?
Good brown. I'm trying to get this brown.
I keep forgetting to put mine back.
Hoarding all of the pastels.
What's your favorite color? Matt?
Probably blue. Is it boring?
I was thinking you'd say that.
It's like all I wear. Pretty much. It's what I got on now. Blue from head to toe. I mean,
That's pretty much what you are.
that hand is blue, blue, blue. Wow. I have not heard that in a while.
Does anyone have any, this, you don't have to answer this, it's just an interesting question I just thought of, but how do you think your artistic style was influenced by your interests and your views of art in general? Like, how do you think it came to be that way? an interesting prompt to think of for next week too.
I think I'm always interested with art with just kind of where, actually a lot like this, like kind of where the abstract and the formal meet, you know, because formalism has this like accessibility to it, but you know, experimentation has all this energy to it. I mean, we look at Picasso, I mean, regardless of what you think, although I really like him, but regardless of what you think, I mean, it's undeniable just how much energy, motion, and movement there is in it. You walk into a gallery and it's got a bunch of Picassos or of that style, and it's just so much energy in the room.
That's
when
really
you walk
good
in.
annotation. Yeah.
But with the Mona Lisa, it's sort of it's like a choir. I mean, when you go into like a museum that shows a bunch of the Renaissance era art, it's elegant and things like that, but it doesn't have. I mean, I love it, but it doesn't have that same kind of energy, or there's something radical to us about it today, even though probably at the time it was very radical, the way that they were painting at the time.
So how does that inspire your own style, do you think?
I guess I understand the accessibility that the Renaissance provides, and I think that's why it's really lasting, and why people still love the Mona Lisa and, you know, paintings of that era. But I think there's just some of that energy that's coming now, and trying to find sort of a modern context for that is really important. So I think as I kind of hear, I mean, I don't have much skill yet, but as I'm trying here to just kind of combine those two, where it can be very accessible to someone, but also have that kind of, that sort of new energy to it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I know a lot of people when abstract art first became prevalent, and still today, a lot of people find it inaccessible, and like you were saying, it's important to kind of, if you want your art to be, you know, at least a little bit more popular, you might want to try to reach out to people who might not necessarily like to look at abstract art as much as realist, but kind of try to sneak in a few abstract things here and there.
Right.
Just kind of try to introduce them to it, like you guys were introduced to it a while ago.
People think abstract's harder.
Oh, less, I guess like less accessible, like you'll look at it and you say, you know, a lot of people
to
say,
understand it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like it would be easier to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's
guess there
interesting.
is that kind of thing. Well, I mean, Picasso's really interesting too for that, because like, you know, early on, I mean, he's capable of doing a painting that looks like the Mona Lisa. Like, he's got that
and he
level of
has.
skill, right?
Yeah.
In that early stuff. But then he decided, I can do that, but I don't want to. You know, it's almost like a musician, like, I don't know, like some piano players, like, you'll hear the early albums, like they're going crazy on piano and doing all these, you know, these really flashy things. But then I always find, like, later on in their careers, they're pretty much just keeping it simple.
Right.
And kind of building off of that. So, I don't know, it's really
That's a good example.
interesting.
These all look really great so far. I love the different styles. I love how you're using all the big shapes and, you know, all this different
She has a
kinds
big
of...
personality.
There you go. That's perfect. I
There you
can
go.
definitely see that through your artwork. That's awesome. Good portrayal of her.
Thank
Looks
you.
a lot like her too. Love it.
It does, yeah. That is pretty... I love the box body. That's a really neat touch.
Yeah, she's got a big personality.
Seems like pop art or something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Pop art's a good example of taking something realistic and then adding abstract colors. That's a good mix of
Right.
the two.
Right.
The two styles we're looking at today.
Right.
I love the background color you're choosing. How it blends in.
Illumination.
Yeah, that's great. So it seems like none of you have chosen to do a detailed background like the Mona Lisa, but filling up the entire canvas with the face, kind of like Picasso. I like that.
Right.
Interesting. I don't know about you, but I never really look at the background. When I look at the Mona Lisa, I look at her face. She kind of draws you in that way, and then you notice what's around her. Yes, Jenna?
To answer your question about inspiration,
Yeah.
I think for me, I like the psychology of facial expressions and in people as well. Like so, for Matt, eyes are the main feature, because when you speak with him, you're drawn to him, like his conversation and everything. So I think that would influence it more so than the detail of it, the feeling you get when you see the art.
That's great. I noticed you didn't draw his glasses because his eyes are the biggest part of your drawing.
Yeah.
But then Tara picked
You
only
got the
glasses.
glasses,
So
which
it's
is
interesting to
the
see what like
first,
different
yeah.
parts are
Well,
most prevalent.
I picked the blue color because she has blue eyes.
Oh, there you go.
So that they're kind of incorporated into her glasses as well. I thought so.
So Matt, what aspect of Tara are you trying to portray most in your? Because we heard that from Tara it was intelligence, and from Jenna it was being drawn to you. So, what do you think?
I think because I'm using a lot of different colors here, I think it's kind of, I mean, the brighter colors,
Yeah.
because she's a chipper person, but also she has, it seems to me, a lot of depth, and like, you know, the more you talk to her, you feel like there's just, you know, a lot, just a lot there that you'll never get a chance to totally, you know, explore in her personality, and so. I don't know, I think kind of those abstract elements around with different colors and sort of odd places sort of kind of tries to portray some of that.
Very nice. You guys are doing a great job of showing your own style, but also emphasizing what you see in the subject.
Hope it's okay that I added a book.
Of course it is.
No books.
Yeah, objects are great too. I mean, like Mona Lisa has a bunch of objects behind her.
Right.
Try to
That's true.
emphasize. I know that
And
Picasso's
they weren't
work doesn't have.
necessarily there.
Right, exactly. If you feel like adding any objects, any special colors, anything you'd like, as to further emphasize either your own style or the subject's personality, as long as it emphasizes your work, then you send it.
Yeah, kind of blends. I like the
Yeah,
pastels.
pastels are awesome. They're one of my favorite mediums. And you remember what a medium is?
Type of utensil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
Like
that? Be on the.
paint?
That's right.
Or pastels, charcoal,
Charcoal.
pencil,
Mm-hmm.
crayon.
No, that's good. That's one of our unit vocabulary words. So don't forget that for the quiz. I like your smudging technique, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make it have a little more depth to it and kind of show. As I was talking, I realized that it wasn't really showing the, like there were colors, but it wasn't really showing just like the complexity, and I think maybe having a lot of tones in between kind of is what gives off more of that mystery and all that.
That's great. I like the colors you picked too. They're all analogous and they go together really nicely.
Thank you.
And then Tara's hair pops.
Right. Give you a weird bone structure, I'm really sorry. You look kind of, look like chubby cheeked or whatever. Like you're a US chipmunk or something. That's what I should have done. I think of Tara as a chipmunk.
The proportions in the eyes in yours, Jenna, kind of remind me of the setup of this. Just like, not as obviously green and weird shape, but, you know, big eyes, a big face, you know, lots of flow.
That's me.
Big eyes and a big face?
Big eyes
No,
and a
the
big
lots of
face.
flow.
The lots of flow.
Sure. I have big eyes and a big face. Well, I have a big face, I don't have big eyes. I'm almost done with mine.
Yeah, whenever you guys are done, I mean, at the end we're just gonna go through and hold them up and show everybody what they look like to other people. Next week we'll be doing a formal like presentation of this and last week's artwork. So remember to bring them back to class and make sure you prepared to answer all the questions. Same things we answered last time and today, but just try to remember your answers and be ready for that next week. These are so different, I love them. So moody.
Yeah,
I love
she
it.
is moody.
Oh boy.
She's a moody, maybe if I give her a little smile, then it'll look creepy, right? Or just kind of like a,
I don't know, creepy is better than moody.
well, I don't know, see? With the little
Oh, that's
mouth
nice.
thing, it's kind of, makes you look,
No, no offense.
I like the way that it gave the lips depth though. 'Cause now they look.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
nice
lot better
outline.
at least, yeah. I think it's a better style. Very black though.
This is so vibrant, lots of energy. Just like I was saying with energy in the abstract art, this has a lot of energy. It's almost like pop art too.
She has a lot of energy.
Good job.
Thank you, I'm done with mine.
Okay, don't forget to sign your work so I know who it goes
Oh.
to. Either on the back or the front, but try to incorporate it into your artwork what's on the front. Very nice.
I'm sorry if I want to give you glasses or not.
I like it with no glasses.
You have good glasses though.
I like it better. You can take my glasses and put them up over it and see how that would look. Actually, it's almost life size. It's pretty fun. Wow. Looks like my first album cover. Dang the sun. Sun.
It is the sun. Oh, I was thinking about how I didn't have a background.
Hmm.
And
Oh, you decided to add one? That's a good idea.
That's
I added
cool.
the sun.
Very nice.
She's sunny.
Nice.
Why is this so, did you look very mushy?
It might have been my fault. I'm
Too-
kind of
too
a
much.
pastel musher. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I get up to wash my hands?
Sure. A lot of finishing touches. I love it. All of these have great use of line too. I'm gonna draw the eye around the pictures.
So what else can you do with oil pastels? Can you use water with them, or does that not really meld?
They're oil, so they don't really dissolve with oil. You kind of have to rub them around. I mean, with water, you have to rub them around. It's kind of like using oil paint too. Like you have to use a special like cleaner to clean the brushes and things like that.
Right, so it's
So-
really more like watercolors are really kind of a more unique thing.
Yeah, because they flow around. And if you use watercolors on this kind of canvas board, it wouldn't really stick because these are meant for oil.
Oh,
Because oil is a lot stickier.
right,
So that's why smudging works really well on this kind of a board. And
right.
yeah, whereas watercolor paper is more absorbent, so that the color can flow through the fibers. Yeah. So, but you can use pastels with erasers. You can. I've done that. You can use pastels with fingers, like you were doing. They're really, really good for blending. Like Tara's doing, if you push really hard on it, like on a surface, it kind of turns out like paint texture. So it's really thick.
Okay,
You
so
can
you
kind
can
of
get
make
like a
it.
texture to it.
Yeah, you can make it bumpy. You can make it really thick. So that's the beauty of it too. You can add shadow a lot with them because if you press really
Right.
hard, it gets really dark. And
Wow,
yeah.
that is cool.
How do you get it so it stays? Like so you don't mess it up later?
You just have to spray it with something later on. 'Cause, yeah, it does smudge always, but if you spray it with kind of shellac sort of thing.
Yeah, a solution.
A solution, yeah.
Cool.
It's not the kind of thing you want to put in a frame because it will smush on the frame unless you spray it. But
Sorry, Matt, you can't frame yourself.
That's really too bad. So it's gonna go right over the bed.
Next to the mirror in the way.
Yeah, right.
it's on the mirror.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right.
Like the idea of adding texture to this though, like that.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at the glasses, Tara, they're like they have a texture to them, and the same with the green book. So they make them like really vibrant. And you don't actually see the texture of the paper so much as you see the texture of the materials.
The medium.
The medium, nice job.
Teacher's pet.
I have to remember for our quiz.
The other terms on the quiz are expression. So remember what expression is?
The emotion that you give into a piece of art.
Yeah, almost. It's the process of making known one's thoughts or feelings. So it's that kind of expression, not the other. Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah.
I
So Picasso makes known his feelings through his expression in his artwork. But it can also mean the way you use line, the way you use shapes in art too.
Right.
Expressive shapes, expressive line. So you're right. Don't worry. And the other one is style, which we talked a lot about today.
Right.
Different kinds of styles.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love her hair.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
Oh, her hair is fabulous.
Thanks, Tara.
Is that a particular book? She's
No, because she likes a lot of books. It's hard to pick one.
that's a clever choice.
Could be a
then.
poetry book. It could be philosophy. She reads a lot of different types of books. Intro to I believe I'm done.
Did you sign your work?
Oh no!
Don't forget.
Oh boy.
Oh, sorry. Do you want which color
Yeah,
would you like?
let's see what color.
There's like a black one. You can also sign on the back if you don't.
No, but then it's not on the front.
That's true. That's categorically true.
This one.
3 scores have used these, sorry. They break.
I love the way preschoolers use art tools though, without regard for that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they go and whole hog into it.
Like Picasso said, every child is an artist.
Hmm.
Just when you grow up, you forget how to be one again.
She's good at using pastels.
Yeah, this
that's
is really your
really
first time
terrific.
using pastels since you were a kid?
Yeah, he's when I was like 4 or 5.
Wow,
Wow,
nice
it's
job.
really
Maybe
cool.
it's your medium.
Yeah.
I think it is.
That's really neat.
Great. Is everyone done?
Yes.
All right, why don't you show your portraits to your person or to everybody?
Let's pass them to the right, like in hearts. Oh, okay.
Very nice. All
It
right,
reminds
so
me of something, but I don't know what.
Probably you.
No, like there's a cartoon character or something that it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Very nice. So next week, we'll bring these back to class and the other 2 that you made last week. And we're going to do each, like, stand over to the class and give a presentation on your artwork, how you came across your style, and describing the style you chose for the last project, all this stuff, everything we talked about last week and today. So just be prepared for that next week. You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, have
Thanks for a
fun.
great class.
Thank you.